Australia will try to restore some pride, but Portugal will see a chance for a big upset. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Australia v Portugal is at the Stade Geoffrey Guichard in St Etienne. It's on Sunday the 10th of October. Kickoff is 4:45 BST. This is world number 10 versus world number 16. So Australia dropping down the rankings at the moment, and Portugal could get very close to them with a win in this one as well. There's only 6 point something points between them in that. So, Australia really want to avoid that defeat, I think. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the team, starting with the Wallabies. So front row, we got Bell, Parecki and Slipper. So, basically the first choice front row. And it's the front row that delivered a very solid scrum all the way up to the World Cup and just haven't delivered, and that's that's Australia really. I wouldn't say solid in terms of the team overall coming into the Rugby World Cup, because they had the 5 losses on the bounce, but still some okay performances in there, but fell off a cliff when they got into the World Cup really, and now pretty much on their way home, and they got to salvage some pride in this one. And I think it's going to start with set piece. They've got to sort the scrum out. Second row, then they got Frost and Arnold in there. So in the absence of Big Will Skelton, they were the two that were partnering him anyway. So it makes sense that they would be the combination there. But still feels like there's a hole in that second row with Skelton there, and you think maybe the scrum was doing so well just. Partly, or I'm not going to say mainly, but certainly a big impact seemed to have been just Skelton's sheer bulk in that scrum. But the scrummagers, the props, they've got good technique. You don't win so many scrums on your own ball without good technique. You can't just have a big lump there. It has to be something else to go with it. But gonna have to improve, I think. Into the back row, then we've got Tom Hooper there, McWright and Valentini. This back row, you look at the guys and they all seem like decent players, but as a combination for me, that they haven't really clicked and worked through this World Cup. We're not seeing, I think, enough carries from the guys, and then not enough threat at the breakdown either. So, and a few too many penalties given away as well. They got to be a bit cleaner at the breakdown too. Into the backs end, we got Tate McDermott at 9 again. Ben Donaldson starts at 10. So the Carter Gordon really has been thrown under the bus during this Rugby World Cup. It was supposed to be, his World Cup to announce himself on the world stage as the Wallabies 10 for years to come, and now we find himself on the bench to a guy who was brought as an emergency backup 10. So that's got a sting. Left wing, then we got Conan Bette. Decent player, but he's the type that if Australia are playing well, he's really going to shine. But if they're not doing so well, he doesn't have that ability, I think, just to lift him up by the bootstraps on his own in that back line. The centres, then we got Fiketti and Paresse. So different centre combination here. We'll see how they go. Mark Nwakanitawase is on the right wing. He has been the most impressive back from Australia for my money, and I think he deserves by his performances to be still in the Rugby World Cup, but not too many of the others do. Got Andrew Callaway back in at fullback there as well. He should give them some decent go forward, but also himself and Nwakanitawase under the high ball. They should be formidable there competing, and kind of securing the ball as well. The substitutes then, we got Faisler, Scoop, and Farmasili. Got Liotta covering the second row. Kameni, the back row. We got Fines, Lele Iwasa covering 9. Got Carter Gordon there, who's going to get some game time, hopefully at 10. And then you got Vunivalu covering the outside back. So, it's as good as they could get, I guess. But, on performances, it's not really saying much, is it? On to the Portugal team then, you got Costa, Tajer, and Hasse Ferreira as the front row. They did well against Georgia, against Georgia, and also against Wales too. Second row, we got Madeira and Bello, a decent combination in there too. The back row, Wallace, Martins, and the Freitas, all kind of busy as well around the park. So we're really going to test that Wallabies back row, I think. The halfbacks then, you got Marquez, who again, a guy I've been impressed with. You got Portela at 10. You got Marta on the left wing, another guy who, if you give him space, he's dangerous. The centres then, you got Appleton and Betancourt. Pretty decent combination there. Storty has again looked very dangerous on that right wing when he gets a chance. Got Sousa Guides at full back. Onto the bench then we have Fernandez, Diniz and Bruno covering the front row. Shakira covering the second row. Simoas covering the back row. We got Bello, Mora and Cardoso Pinto as the back replacements there as well. So, some decent players in that team, and if they're firing, then they lift the others as well. And if the game kind of is a little bit tight, these guys could really produce a magical performance. But so how do I think this one's going to go? Well, Australia, we know they're out mathematically, not out yet because they have that win, and if they win this, they're going to be on, if they get a bonus point to win, they're on 11 points, and then Fiji have got to match that or better it to make the quarterfinals. So, but we pretty much know that they're going home, so they're going to look for a performance here. I think they can produce it, but I think Portugal are going to push them all the way in this one, and I wouldn't be surprised if Portugal actually have a lead, kind of similar to Namibia, against Uruguay, but that's kind of doing Portugal a bit of a disservice, I think, because Namibia looked kind of abject for most of the tournament and then suddenly had a 14-point lead, whereas I think if Portugal got a lead like that against Australia, it would be deserved on the performance through the tournament so far. But I do think that Australia are just going to be able to come through and get a win that isn't going to placate any of their fans really, because they're still going home after the pool stages, but it might be something to build on for the future. And it could be a case that if they get upset here, is Eddie's job on the line? Maybe this would be for Portugal to win this would be the biggest shock of this Rugby World Cup so far, by a big margin. Because when you think of it, this side of the draw is so open, but there haven't been really that many, what would you say were big shocks. You have seen teams knock over more traditionally fancy teams, but they've been the teams who have been performing well coming into the tournament anyway. So would be a massive upset, I think, if Portugal weren't to win this, but I think the Wallabies are going to somehow pull out a win.